Welcome to another stock chart analysis video, and here are the 10 stocks na i-review ko for today. So kung meron kayong mga stocks na gustong mapag-usapan na hindi covered sa video na to, you can just comment down below and pag-uusapan ko yan sa mga susunod na stock chart analysis videos. So punta na muna tayo sa PSEI para sa overall market conditions. So the last time I did a stock chart analysis video was on September 2. So ayan yung vertical line sa PSEI. And kung napanood nyo na yung video na yon, yung bias natin was that PSEI was on a downward channel na move or a falling wedge pattern. That's why meron tayong dalawang trend line dito sa taas na part ng pattern, no? So we were able to plot yung point A and point B ng lower part ng channel or ng falling wedge. And mukhang dito nga nakahanap ng support yung PSEI since September 3, no? So, ito yung naging support area niya. And then, 2 days after that, nagkaroon ng magandang buying. So, you can see that last trading week nung Friday, nagkaroon ng gap up, no? Kaso ngayong araw, nagkaroon lang din ulit ng bentahan and halos binalikan lang niya yung closing price nung September 4. So, not that much difference. Sabi ko nga last time, no? The very important thing to look at is dapat malagpasan at least ng PSEI yung upper part ng trend line ng mga patterns na to kasi yun yung magsasabi sa atin or magpapakita ng sign ng bullishness somehow. And important na makalabas nga yun sa upper part ng trend line because if hindi, it may follow the movement of the channel, no, or the pattern downwards. And merong significant price level sa 6,000 although hindi siya structure support talaga pero pwedeng psychological na support. And if you're going to look closely, yung upper part ng trend line ng falling wedge near 6,000, no? Tapos yung bottom part ng trend line papunta rin doon. So it would be good for the PSEI to move out or break out from the upper part ng trend lines niya para somehow manegate yung downward move towards 6,000, no? And if we're going to remove yung mga drawings na to, we can clearly see that PSEI is in a downward move. So yung MA50 at MA100 sideways pero yung MA20 niya, which is the short-term moving average, is sloped downward, no? So, dapat within this trading week or probably next week, no, makalabas kahit malang dito sa falling wedge. But ultimately, yung gusto natin is mag-breakout siya dito sa upper part ng trend line na yan. And kahit makabalik man lang siya above ng 6223 na levels, tapos dito na siya magtagal, no? Para manegate yung downward channel move. So, punta na muna tayo sa unang chart na i-review natin. So, that's BDO. So, the last time I reviewed this stock, August 19 pa. So, it's been a few weeks since last time kong napag-usapan to. And na-plot nga natin dito yung mga key levels niya. So, S1 and S2 was supposed to be yung support ng BDO, no? And it corresponds dito sa previous support pa niya nung Feb 10. Pero sobrang lakas nung nangyaring selling sa August 26, as you can see. Ito rin yung nagtulak pababa, no, sa PSEI overall. And somehow, BDO is hovering near the S2. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, pag tinanggal ko tong range na to, yung S1 yung nagawa nating support and yun na yung nagre-resist ngayon, no? So, nung September 5, umabot yung price actually ng 137.30 sa S1. So, ibig sabihin, ito downgrade na natin yung S1 and gagawin na natin tong R1 na resistance. So, na-confirm niya na resistance siya, no? So, yung 113.30 na levels up to the range of 137. So, in this case, yung R1 natin before is gagawin ko ng R2 and yung R2 before is gagawin ko ng R3. Tapos itong S2 na support, I think hindi na siya significant kasi ilang beses niya nang breakdown tas bumawi. So for me, a better support would be this area na ngayon. Yung 132 na range plus this recent swing low, no, sa 131.20. So para sa akin, ito na yung okay niya na S1. So yung range na yan. So basically, nagke-create yung BDO ng consolidation sa ngayon, no, sa price area na to. So, if it finds good support, good footing sa area na to, then pwedeng dito lang siya gumalaw. But there's a dividend upcoming for this month. Ex-date niya na September 15. Pero buti na lang, maliit lang naman yung div rate, no? 0.81%. So, less than 1% lang. If dito lang yung prices until that date, then if we're going to put 1% here, then basically bibisitahin niya lang yung lower part ng range, no? But in the event that BDO makes a breakdown sa S1 na support na range na yan, let's look at the possible support next. So if we're going to base it sa structural na support, medyo malalim ng onte because nasa 126.90 levels, no? Yung sunod na support, yan yung S2 niya. And medyo malalim yun. So, ibig sabihin, if magkaroon pa ng further drop, kung dire-diretso pa rin yung pababa ng market ng PSEI, then hindi malabo isipin na pwedeng pumunta ng S2 itong BDO, no? So, yan yung bias natin for BDO. If the PSEI keeps falling downward na hindi siya makapag-breakout sa trend line niya, then most likely, pwedeng i-revisit ng BDO yung support niya na S2. So, ayun nga, no, yung around 127 na levels. And also, you can see that the MA20 has been acting as the moving resistance for this stock. So, eventually, the MA20 is going to reach this range. So, pag nag-breakout pala siya dyan, pwedeng maging cause din ng resistance yung MA20. So, magandang gawin ng BDO, mag-consolidate siya dito, no? Para pumasok talaga yung MA20 sa range and at least pag nag-breakout siya dyan, magiging above siya sa MA20 and less resistance na yon para somehow makamove upward siya. So, another bank stock. So, punta tayo sa MBT. So, MBT, last time I reviewed this, August 14. And as you can see, after nung analysis natin, nagkaroon pa ng support twice, no? Yung area na to, yung S1, yung around 70 na price area. So, August 19, napigilan niya yung price pababa. And ganun din nung August 29 and September 1. Unfortunately, nung September 5, nagkaroon ng selling pressure. So, dumagdag pa doon yung ex-date, no, na 2%. So, the price closed around 71.65. Tapos, 2% drop. Hanggang dito lang dapat yung possible drop niya because of the ex-date, no? Yung cash div niyan, 2.11%. Kaso lang, sobrang lakas nung selling, nag-breakdown siya. So, nag 3% drop. Tapos, kanina, nag-drop pa further, no? So, meron tayong nakaabang na support dyan sa S2. So, ito yan yung double bottom support nyo before sa 67.25 and S3 din. So, alam nyo na yan. Tatanggalin na natin tong S1 because gagawin na natin yung R1 of course. Since confirmed na yung breakdown, tas bumaba pa lalo. So, this area now is a resistance. And yung R1 natin, gagawin kong R3 to because nag-create ng smaller consolidation yung MBT sa area na to eh. So, yung 72.26 na level, no, around that area, magiging R2 to. So, isa lang ibig sabihin yan, MBT is going to have a hard time going back to 75 price area soon. So, the reason for that is because ang lakas na ng selling na nangyari ngayon. So, you don't expect na manenegate yung selling na yan in just a few days, no? So, kung makikita nyo, ang laki nung selling volume na nangyari dito. So, R1 yung resistance and then nakaabang agad yung MA20 and MA50. And looking from the move ng 3rd week to 4th week na August na month, we can see na napigilan ng MAs na yun yung price. So, of course, we're going to look at that as possible resistance din. So, tatlo na agad yung resistance niya, no? And then, yung R2. So, that's the 4th one. And possible din yung MA100 mag-act as resistance. So, pang-5. And then, R3. So, pang-6, no? So, ang kapal na ng resistance na pwedeng puntahan ng MBT. So, I don't expect it to go to 75 level soon. Kapag gumanda yung takbo ng market and nagkamaayos na catalyst yung MBT, then there's a chance na makabalik siya sa levels na yan. Pero I think it would really take weeks or months. And pansin nyo naman sa BDO, pababa din yung stock. So clearly, there's something fundamentally wrong with the sector kasi hindi lang siya yung tinatamaan, no? So if you see improvement sa banking sector or sa PSEI, dun ako magiging optimistic somehow sa MBT. So next stock, BPI. So, BPI, last time I reviewed this stock, August 20. So, around 2 weeks ago. And meron nga tayong mga nilagay na mga levels dito. So, R1 was the previous support. And nag-breakdown siya dyan noong August 19. So, syempre, naging na siyang resistance. And as you can see, we've plotted a trend line downward kasi ayun yung channel move na ginagawa ng BPI, no? So, ever since we established that trend line, yun talaga yung ginagalawan ng BPI, no? Hindi siya lumalabas pataas and hindi rin siya lumalabas pababa. So, it acted actually as the support nung August 26. So, here's the bottom part of the trend line and nagkaroon ng confluence sa support sa swing swing low niya before nung June 24, 2024. But unfortunately, pagkapasok ng buying pressure, naging resistance yung previous double bottom support niya. So, na-anticipate natin na magkakaroon ng selling dito sa 115.97 area. So, nasa 116 yan. So, after that resist, bumalik ulit siya actually sa ilalim ng S1 and naging siyang support, no? So, nag-create siya ng double bottom in the near term or short term. Pero kanina, nagkaroon na naman ng bentahan and it looks like i-revisit niya na naman yung bottom part na trend line ng channel na to, no? So, extend na lang natin yung trend line na yan. So, may confluence sa S2. So, wala pa ring difference sa key levels ng BPI. Ayan pa rin tayo. R1 tsaka S1 and S2. So, unless BPI moves upward to break the channel, then mahirapan tong stock na to. Pwedeng dito lang siya makahanap ng support sa S1 and S2. So, a possible consolidation maybe. And if things get worse, it's possible na mag-breakdown siya sa S2. Tapos bumaba pa. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung possible na S3, no? Since malapit na. So, if we're going to base it sa technicals, sa kanyang swing low, so 101.90. So, ayan yung level na yan. Kita nyo naman may previous low dito. So, yan pa yung support niya nung January 10, 2024. So, that's 102 na price area, no? So, ibig sabihin, pwede nating ilagay yan dito. So, 102 yung S3. And may confluence ulit sa bottom part ng trend line ng channel, no? So, not looking good for BPI. Same fate with other banking stocks na pababa talaga, no? So, very bearish for BPI in the coming days or weeks. And it needs to go above itong 118 na levels para magkabuhay itong stock na to. Kasi sinusunod talaga niya, no? Yung downward channel na move. And I don't see things improving yet sa ginagawa ng market natin. So, neutral scenario na hanggang dito lang siya sa S2. Pero S3 yung pinakamababa niyang pwedeng puntahan in the short term. So, next up, Costco. So, Costco, last time I reviewed the stock August 22. So, it's been 2 weeks already. So, yung line dito sa 7.32, that's not a significant area sa chart. That's just my average price kasi pumasok ako dito sa Costco and ayan yung price average ko. So, 7.32. Pero, hindi yan important level. Hindi yan R1 or hindi yan resistance or what. So, always make sure to look at the right side of your screen when you see lines because dyan ko nilalagay, no, yung indication as the resistance. So, 7.18 was a resistance because ayan yung upper part ng ascending triangle niya and also the upper part of the range. So, wala pa rin naman halos na difference in terms of the resistance of Costco because yung R1 hindi naging support, no? Kasi hindi nagtuloy-tuloy yung breakout niya. So, it's still a possible resistance yung R1 but there's a recent swing high sa 7.39. So, I'm going to adjust this and place a resistance line dito sa 7.39, no? So, I can see that 7.18 and 7.39 as somehow a resistance na yan yung range. Kasi it's a possibility na magkaroon pa rin ng selling near these levels. So, I'm going to remove yung bottom part ng ascending triangle na pattern because negated na yan since tapos naman na at attempt na ng breakout yung Costco. So, in this case, yung S1, ganun pa rin naman. And as you can see, it's still supporting. So, valid pa rin naman yung area na yan. And andyan pa rin yung S2 as the next support. And we can see that yung MA100 is about to catch up sa price, no? So, for Costco, bumalik ulit siya sa consolidation area niya. So, that's between the S1 support, no? So, near 6.90 and 7.18. So, nagkaroon ng breakout nung August 29 with good volume. Probably because it was nearing yung X-date and probably some of the market participants na decided to buy the stock for the dividends. But I guess hindi naging enough na catalyst yung dividends, no, para magkaroon ng follow-through sa breakout niya at gumanda yung movement ng stock. And ang ending, nagkaroon lang din ng sell down. So, I think some people did profit taking kasi ayaw nilang mag-participate dun sa dividends, no? So, for Costco, the long-term trend is still intact pa naman and the short-term view is a consolidation, no? So, ibig sabihin, it will probably still make a consolidation in the short term until lumakas yung stock for it to try to test again yung 7.18 and 7.39 na resistance. So, fortunately, mababa lang yung nalagay ko na allocation sa Costco. So, currently, I'm down by about 5.43%, no? Less than 6%. Tapos, meron akong cash div na makukuha by end of September. So, around 2.49. So, basically, more or less, I'm down 3% pa lang naman. So, it's still not hit my cut loss. Kaya, hawak ko pa naman yung Costco. So, let's see kung magkakaroon ba ng strength yung Costco para i-test yung 7.18 and 7.39. So, next up, Converge. So, for Converge, the last time I reviewed the stock, August 14. So, 3 weeks or mag-iisang buwan na rin halos. And we've plotted significant levels here, yung S1 at S2 nga before, no? And we can see na nagsusupport yung S2 sa levels na to. So it created a somewhat of a double bottom in the short term for the whole month of August. And nagre-resist nga yung S1 ngayon since nag-breakdown na. So of course, yung S1 na to will become the R1. And then, yung resistance sa taas, yung R1 natin dyan, syempre magiging R2. And yung R2 magiging R3, no? And syempre yung S2, ito na yung magiging nating S1. And the S3 will become your S2. So, currently, Converge is in a consolidation sa area na to. So, of course, the range high is the resistance and the range low is the support. So, ano ba yung inaabangan natin dapat sa Converge, no? So, there are 2 arcs here. So, sa last ko kasi na stock chart analysis sa Converge, sabi ko if magsusupport yung S1, no, sa area na to, and it only reaches yung R3, halimbawa nag-resist dyan, it's actually going to create a head and shoulders pattern, no, that can really make the stock go down further if it creates that pattern. So, if you're going to look at it and follow this pattern lang, pwede mong masabi na negated na, no? Kasi nag-breakdown siya sa S1 and umabot na siya dito sa S2. So, hindi siya nag-bounce sa area na to kung saan yung neckline. But, there's still a possibility na hindi yung S1 na to yung neckline niya, no? So, ang pwedeng mangyari dyan is yung support niya is yung previous S2 or yung S1 ngayon, and somehow magkakaroon ng ganitong variation, no, sa right shoulder niya. So, ang pwede kasing mangyari, itong point A, tapos ito na yung point B. So, ibig sabihin yung neckline, no, pwedeng magkaroon ng variation na ito yung bottom part ng trend line. So, ibig sabihin, pag nag-resist yung Converge sa R2 and R3, pag tumaas siya dito, tapos bumaba ulit papunta dito, then pwede pa niyang magawa yung head and shoulders na pattern. So, like I said before, it's important na yung Converge mag-move upward sa 18 na price and hindi na siya mag-breakdown dun, no? To negate yung head and shoulders talaga ng maayos. Or, it's a possibility din na dito siya mag-create ng malaking consolidation, no? Tapos, mag-breakout siya. So, pwede nating masabi na negated din yung head and shoulders pattern. So, ang importante lang talaga makabalik siya sa 18 na price and hindi na siya bumalik sa ilalim. So, for Converge, pag bumaba pa ito lalo, pag nag-breakdown sa S1, then nakaabang naman na yung support sa S2, no? But since there's already a trend line, kung hindi magiging ganun kalakas yung selling pressure, pwedeng dito lang siya mag-hover, no? Sa near trend line area. Ang ayaw lang nating mangyari dyan is mag-breakdown siya sa S1 and sa trend line because pwede niya ngang abutin talaga yung S2 na support. So, ayaw nating mangyari yan sa Converge. And hindi lang yung Converge yung nagka-issue ng ganito. So, alam niyo naman, a few weeks back regarding the Konektadong Pinoy Bill na naginangang law, no? So, ganun din yung nangyari sa Globe and Tel na talagang bumaba yung mga stock price nila. So, let's see kung kayang lagpasan ng Converge yung 18 para manegate yung head and shoulders na pattern. Pero, unang milestone muna kahit mag-breakout lang siya sa 15 price area, no? Para manegate niya na yung downward move towards the S2 support. So, next up, DMC. So, for DMC, last time I reviewed this stock, August 15, or probably August 16. Nagamit ko lang yung August 15 na candle because over the weekend ko siya napag-usapan. So, the plotted areas during this period was S1 and S2 na support sa 10 area, no? And nag-support nga ulit yung S1 and nag-resist din yung upper part ng range nito ng consolidation, no? Near the R1 sa 10.28. And then, lumabas siya sa consolidation, tapos naging resistance yung R2 sa 10.72. nung August 29 at September 1. And then, bumalik ulit sa ilalim and this time, naging support na yung upper part ng range. And ngayong araw lang, nag-breakout na siya sa R2. So, you can clearly see that DMC had notable pivots no sa key areas natin. So, nag-support siya dito sa S1 and then nagkaroon ng resistance sa R2 and then nagkaroon ulit ng support sa R1 kasi syempre naging support na siya, no? So, adjust muna natin yung levels ng DMC. So, in this case, tatanggalin ko na tong box because there's no consolidation anymore. And itong R1, tatanggalin ko na yan. And itataas natin, no, yung S1 kasi ito na yung S1 support. So, it's a possibility na range na siya. So, itong area na to, no. And itong area na to, gagawin ko na lang tong S2. So, gagawin ko na yung range. Kasi mukhang nagiging range naman talaga yung support dito, no. And ito, hindi ko pa siya mako-consider na support despite it becoming the R2 resistance. Kasi too early pa. Although nagkaroon ng breakout, malalaman natin bukas no, or this week kung mag-act siya talaga as support. So, I'm just going to put a note here to indicate no kung kino-consider natin as support ba yan. But definitely, the next resistance for the stock is 11.28. So, gawin na lang muna natin tong R2 instead of the R3, no? So, I'm not sure kung ba't nagkaroon ng rally yung DMC and ang laki rin ng volume, no? Above 100 million yung trade value. So, possibly there's a catalyst here pero wala pa akong nababasa. So, I haven't checked yung mga news or articles yet. But definitely, that's a good sign for DMC, no? It's one of the biggest volumes na nagawa niya for the year. So, tingnan natin kung kaya niyang abutin yung resistance niya na to sa R2. So, next up, SEC. So, last time I reviewed this stock, August 5. So, ito, isang buwan na talaga, no? And na-plot nga natin na ito yung mga significant levels niya. So, basically, nagkaroon ng breakout today sa SEC. So, ayan, no, lumagpas siya sa R1. So, as you all know, SEC is majority owned by DMC. And since tumaas yung SEC, there's a possibility na nasa SEC yung catalyst, no? That's why yung DMC tumaas because nagkaroon ng magandang galaw or probably SEC will have a good catalyst or some funda news affected it, no? Kaya natulak pataas yung DMC. And nakikita nyo ang lakas din ng volume na ginawa ng SEC. So, it's one of the largest volumes too sa year na to. So, wala tayong ibang gagawin na adjustment sa key levels. Ayan pa rin naman yung mga key levels niya. If hindi na siya bumalik sa ilalim, then we can probably make this as R1 and ito yung S1. Since, syempre, role reversal at magsusupport na yung area na yan. Pero sa ngayon, maaga pa naman and malapit pa siya dyan sa resistance. So, pag may selling na nangyari then we can consider this simply as an overshoot, no? Pero definitely interesting kung ano yung naging catalyst nitong SEC at bakit naging ganyan yung galaw niya. So, possible na makover ko ulit to sa stock chart analysis within this trading week, no? Pag may lumabas na magandang news or catalyst about it. Kasi if you're going to look sa galaw ng DMC tas SEC, consolidation lang siya, no? Tapos biglang gulat na ganito yung naging galaw niya. So, tingnan natin in the coming days kung may lalabas ba na catalyst. So, next up, RCI. So, for RCI, the stock is currently in a short-term uptrend. So, ever since nagkaroon siya ng swing low nung second week ng July, no, pataas na yung naging move ng stock na to. From the levels na 2.80 below, it's currently up by 40%. So, let's see and plot the current key levels ng RCI. So, it's in a short-term uptrend but it's experiencing a short pullback, no? So, ito yung high niya sa 4.10, 4.11 and bumaba yung stock ng almost 8%. So, it's a possibility na nagkakaroon lang siya ng short-term consolidation. But, of course, that will be negated pag nag-breakdown siya sa range niya to and below the MA20. So, there's a double top resistance here. So, ayan yung mga arrows, no? So, resistance niya yan before and nakapag-breakout na nga siya nung August 11 na confirmed. So, yung 3.61 na area, I will consider this as your S2 because the S1 syempre is this lower part ng range kung saan nagkaroon ng confluence with your MA20. So, yan yung ating S1. And for the R1, syempre may recent swing high tayo dito sa 4.10. But if you can see kung bakit nagkaroon ng resistance dyan, it's because of this resistance sa 4.12, no? And nagkaroon ng resistance sa 4.12 because of this area. And the high of this area is 4.20. So for me, yung 4.10 and 4.20 is a crucial area for RCI. That's why I'm going to consider that as R1 lang. So magkalapit kasi sila halos 10 ticks lang, no? So, hindi ko na yun kailangan i-consider as R2 because that would mean na yung range na yan is a resistance. So, the 52-week high for this stock is 4.20 but yung ultimate resistance talaga niya, no, is yung 4.58 na resistance which is the high nung May pa, 2024. So, 1 year, 4 months, no, halos. So, 16 or 17th month niya na resistance yan. So, yung RCI, sobrang tagal na ng consolidation nito, no, ever since nagkaroon siya ng peak nung May. So, dito nga sa 4.58. So, ito yung consolidation niya. So, if your S2 is this area here, yung 3.61 nga, then we can consider yung S3 as 3.11. So, may previous swing low din kasi siya dito eh. So, ito yung S3. So, for RCI, looking good in the short term, pero medium term and long term, mukhang consolidation nga talaga yung nangyayari, no? So, probably, I'd be optimistic sa RCI pag nag-breakout siya sa 4.20 and pag na-hold niya yung levels na yun. Since this is a very strong resistance, you'd expect na magiging malakas din syempre yung selling around this area. So, it would be good for RCI if malagpasan niya yung levels na yun tapos ma-hold niya talaga. Pero yung 458 talaga yung kailangan abangan dito since it's a multi-year high, no, na-consider na natin ngayon since lagpas 1 year na siya. So, I think the bulk of the selling is dyan talaga mangyayari. So, equally, pareha sila na strong resistance area. So, R1 and R2 natin yan. So, let's see in the coming days if magkakaroon ng significant move sa RCI. So, next stock, RCR. So, RCR, last time I reviewed this stock, August 22. So, halos 2 weeks ago din, no? And wala pa rin naman masyadong difference compared sa na-plot natin na key levels. So, as you can see, we've plotted S1 as the support and after the stock chart analysis, it already supported twice. So, nagkaroon ng malakas na selling ng August 26. So, ito siya. And nag-support naman and ganun din sa September 2 na nag-support din sa area na yan. And probably a confluence also with your MA50 kasi malapit. Pero ayun nga, no, halos naging range yung support natin dito for RCR because malapit lang din naman yung S2. So, the current support is still at 7.75 hanggang 7.63, no? And ganun pa rin naman yung resistance sa 8.30 because it's not yet making a breakout. And as expected, consolidation pa rin yung nakikita natin sa RCR. So, not that much difference sa galaw niya. Nagkaroon lang ng malakas na selling nung August 26, no? But wala pa rin siyang masyadong ginawa. So, if the banks are experiencing sell downs and a downward move, if that's because of rate cuts, so ang negative catalyst ng mga banks is bumaba yung interest, then somehow that's a positive for REIT stocks since mababa yung interest, no? So, mas nakakatipid sila sa bayad utang or they can get loans at better deals kasi mas mababa yung interest. So, that's probably the reason why tumataas pa rin yung mga ibang REIT stocks. And despite experiencing heavy selling pressure, somehow na-negate niya yung selling na yun, no? So, nagbabanggaan lang yung negative tapos positive catalyst ng banks tapos ng REIT stocks. So, for RCR, definitely for the move to go higher or magkaroon siya ng better na galaw, dapat niyang malagpasan yung 8.30 and 8.50 na levels, which are the key resistances for this stock, syempre. Yun yung 52-week high natin. And from the last review, alam niyo naman kung bakit natin na-plot yung mga resistances na to. They are multi-year highs because yung mga 2022 pa na resistance ng RCR yan, no? So, let's see kung anong gagawin ng RCR in the coming days since it has a potential to make a breakout but also a potential to revisit the range kasi mukhang lumalapit yung MA50, no, towards the current price. So, tingnan natin. So, next stock, that's SMC. So, SMC, last time I reviewed this stock chart analysis, August 15, but I remember talking about this pa rin sa midday market updates, no? And ano yung napag-usapan ko last time sa previous na stock chart analysis? I said it would be better for SMC to make a consolidation muna dito sa S1 and S2 because if it makes a move na sobrang bilis pataas, syempre makaka-encounter ka ng selling pressure niyan kasi yung mga nakakuha sa ilalim, mataas na agad yung gains nila eh. So at these levels, no, yung mga sumalo, pag napuntahan nila yung R1, up na sila ng 16%. And for funds that have big allocation, 16% in a span of 1 to 3 days is already a big deal. And ayun nga yung nangyari. You can see here sa drawing na yung MA20 was actually around this area before. And meron tayong drawing dyan because it's a possibility na makahabol yung MA20 near the R1. And as you can see, tumaas siya ng August 18, ng August 19, and by August 20, nag-resist yung R1 along with the MA20. Tapos, nahila pababa yung price, no? So, dire-diretso yung benta niya. So, basically, dead cat bounce and nagkaroon lang ng rebound sa SMC tapos binentahan lang din kaagad. So, it really goes to show that iniiwasan to ng big funds, no? Kasi kung gusto talaga nilang saluhin yan, dapat hindi ganyan yung naging galaw niya, no? So, that's why I said it would be better kung magkaroon siya ng consolidation dito sa ilalim. Kasi kung nagkaroon siya ng consolidation dito and nag-breakout siya, at least the move looks better. Kasi nagkaroon siya ng buwelo pataas instead of going higher tapos bumaba para abutin tong price levels na to, no? So, pwede na natin tanggalin itong box na to since the better move wasn't made. So, nag-resist siya sa R1. So, definitely, the key levels are still intact since yung R1 pa rin naman and hindi pa niya nire-revisit ulit yung support sa S1, no? But that's a possibility because the trend line says na pwede pa niyang maabot itong level na to. So, S1 and S2 is still the support and in the event na yung price bumaba dito sa S1, then it could create a double bottom. So, you could say na descending triangle yung potential na gawin ng SMC, no? And that means na kung magawa niya yung descending triangle, we can simply plot the high of the triangle towards the base. And pag nag-breakdown siya, so sa S1, ito yung pwede niyang abutin na price, no, na target. So 41.46. So may overshoot sa S3 na support na na-plot natin before. So S2 and S3 is because of multi-year low supports niya, no. So pag natuloy yung descending triangle, at malakas talaga yung selling, there's a chance pala talaga na ma-revisit niya yung S3. So, definitely, ang kailangan gawin ng SMC soon is to break out from this trend line and hover above yung MA20, no? Until makabuelo siya to make a breakout sa R1 na maayos at maganda yung volume. Hindi yung ganito na agad-agad kaya naging prone sa profit taking. So, for me, the better move na gagawin ng SMC is after it makes a breakout, mag-consolidate siya dito, no, ng matagal para yung MA20 hahabol na sa price at pwedeng mag-act as support. And then your MA50 will go near the R1. Tapos pag nag-breakout siya dyan, then at least ang resistance na lang na pwede niyang abangan is yung R2 tapos yung MA100, no. So yan yung gusto nating mangyari for SMC. So still the same, I think it would be a very difficult na move na makaabot siya ng R2 and R3 just because of the strong resistance sa levels na to since ang kalaban dyan hindi lang yung mga sumalo sa area na to na gustong mag-break even but also the market participants who were able to buy this stock, no, above R3. So pwede pa silang mag-cut loss near sa R2 and break even sa R3. And yung mga sumalo dito sa levels na to will have a lot of gains na rin, no, in the event na yung price mag-reach ng R2 and R3. So example lang yung mga sasalo dito sa below 60 levels. Pagdating sa R2 up na sila ng 26%, sa R3 more than 30%, no. So that's why mataas ang chance na malakas yung selling nito sa R2 and R3. So it would probably take a lot of strong sentiment para makabalik to ng 80 levels, which I don't see happening very soon. So that ends the stock chart analysis video for today. So again, if merong mga stocks dito na hindi nasama, you can just comment down below and mapapag-usapan ko yan sa mga succeeding stock chart analysis videos, or you can click the links sa right side so you can check if na-review ko na yung mga stocks na yun recently and you can use that as reference. You can also click the link towards the left so you can be a member of this channel and have exclusive videos sa aking 24K to 1M na challenge portfolio, as well as the 24K to 1M watch list where I talk about stocks that I'm monitoring and planning to buy. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe by clicking the buttons below. So ayun lang, and thank you for watching this video.